Plato, Plato, Plato. 1 Greek, Peltn. 428 427, or 424 423, 348 347 BC, was an ancient Greek philosopher born in Athens during the classical period in ancient Greece. In Athens, Plato founded the Academy, a philosophical school, where he taught the philosophical doctrines that would lot, known as Platonism. Plato or Platon was a pen name derived from his nickname given to him by his wrestling coach, allegedly a reference to his physical broadness. According to Alexander of Miletus, quoted by Diogenes of Sinope, his actual name was Aristocles, son of Ariston, of the deme Collitus. Collitus being a district of Athens, born 428 427 or 424 423 BC, Athens, Greece, died 348 347 BC, age c. 80, Athens, Greece. Biography. Further information. Life of Plato. Little is known about Plato's early life and education. He belonged to an aristocratic and influential family. The exact time and place of Plato's birth are unknown. Based on ancient sources, most modern scholars believe that he was born in Athens or Aegina between 428-10 and 423 BC. 11. Plato gives little biographical information about himself in his works, but often referred some of his relatives with a great degree of precision, including his brothers Adeimantus and Glaucon, who debate with Socrates in the Republic. 12. These and other references enable us to reconstruct Plato's family tree. 13. Plato may have traveled in Italy, Sicily, Egypt, and Cyrene. 14. But at the age of 40, Plato founded a school of philosophy in Athens, the Academy, on a plot of land in the grove of Hecademus or Academus. 15. Named after Academus, an Attic hero in Greek mythology. The Academy operated until it was destroyed by Lucius Cornelius Sulla in 84 BC. Many philosophers studied at the Academy, the most prominent one being Aristotle, 1617 according to Diogenes Laertius. Throughout his later life, Plato became entangled with the politics of the city of Syracuse, where he attempted to replace the tyrant Dionysius, 18, with Dionysius's brother-in-law, Dion of Syracuse, whom Plato had recruited as one of his followers, but the tyrant himself turned against Plato. After Dionysius's death, according to Plato's 7th letter, Dion requested Plato return to Syracuse to tutor Dionysius I, who seemed to accept Plato's teachings, but eventually became suspicious of their motives, expelling Dion and holding Plato against his will. Eventually, Plato left Syracuse, and Dion would return to overthrow Dionysius and rule Syracuse, before being usurped by Calopius, a fellow disciple of Plato. A variety of sources have given accounts of Plato's death. One story, based on a mutilated manuscript, 19, suggests Plato died in his bed, whilst a young Thracian girl played the flute to him. 20. Another tradition suggests Plato died at a wedding feast. The account is based on Diogenes Laertius's reference to an account by Hermippus, a 3rd century Alexandrian. 21. According to Tertullian, Plato simply died in his sleep. 21. Name. The fact that the philosopher in his maturity called himself Platon is indisputable, but the origin of this name remains mysterious. Platon is a nickname from the adjective plats, broad. Although Platon was a fairly common name, 31 instances are known from Athens alone. 22. The name does not occur in Plato's known family line. 23. The sources of Diogenes Laertius account for this by claiming that his wrestling coach, Ariston of Argos, dubbed him broad on account of his chest and shoulders, or that Plato derived his name from the breadth of his eloquence or his wide forehead. 24-25, while recalling a moral lesson about frugal living, Seneca mentions the meaning of Plato's name. His very name was given him because of his broad chest. 26. According to Diogenes Laertius, 27, his birth name was supposedly Aristocles, meaning best reputation. C. However, modern scholars are divided on the reliability of this claim. 28-23. Philosophy. Main article, Platonism. In Plato's dialogues, Socrates and his company of disputants had something to say on many subjects, including several aspects of metaphysics. These include religion and science, human nature of, and sexuality. More than one dialogue contrasts perception and reality, nature and custom, and body and soul. Francis Cornford identified the twin pillars of Platonism as the theory of forms, on the one hand, and, on the other hand, the doctrine of immortality of the soul. 41. The forms. See also, Plato's theory of forms. In the dialogues, Socrates regularly asks for the meaning of a general term e.g., justice, truth, beauty, and criticizes those who instead give him particular examples, rather than the quality shared by all examples. Platonism, and its theory of forms, also known as theory of ideas, denies the reality of the material world, considering it only an image or copy of the real world. According to this theory of forms, there are these two kinds of things: the apparent world of material objects grasped by the senses, which constantly changes, and an unchanging and unseen world of forms, grasped by reason. Plato's forms represent types of things, as well as properties, patterns, and relations, to which we refer as objects, just as individual tables, chairs, and cars refer to objects in this world, tableness, chairness, and carnses, as well as e.g., justice, truth, and beauty refer to objects in another world. One of Plato's most cited examples for the forms were the truths of geometry, such as the Pythagorean theorem. The theory of forms is first introduced in the Phaedo dialogue, also known as On the Soul, wherein Socrates disputes the pluralism of Anaxagoras. Then the most popular response to Heraclitus and Parmenides, the soul. See also Plato's theory of soul. For Plato, as was characteristic of ancient Greek philosophy, the soul was that which gave life. 42. Plato advocates a belief in the immortality of the soul, and several dialogues end with long speeches imagining the afterlife. In the Timaeus, Socrates locates the parts of the soul within the human body. Reason is located in the head, spirit in the top third of the torso, and the appetite in the middle third of the torso, down to the navel. 43-44. Furthermore, Plato evinces a belief in the theory of reincarnation in multiple dialogues such as the Phaedo and Timaeus. Scholars debate whether he intends the theory to be literally true. However, 45, he uses this idea of reincarnation to introduce the concept that knowledge is a matter of recollection of things acquainted with before one is born, and not of observation or study. 46. Keeping with the theme of admitting his own ignorance, Socrates regularly complains of his forgetfulness. In the Meno, Socrates uses a geometrical example to expound Plato's view that knowledge in this latter sense is acquired by recollection. Socrates elicits a fact concerning a geometrical construction from a slave boy, who could not have otherwise known the fact due to the slave boy's lack of education. The knowledge must be of, Socrates concludes, an eternal, non-perceptible form.